Yes, ladies and gentlemen, your eyes are not deceiving you. I just nano boosted myself as Ana. There are some huge Ana buffs on the PTR. There is also more Brigitte nerfs. And apparently there's going to be even more Ana buffs coming in the future. This is quite an interesting time for Ana players. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa. So, there are some huge Ana changes that are on the PTR right now. But also remember, guys, I am going to the loading bar in London. This is tomorrow. It is for a viewing party for a Spitfire game for Overwatch League. If you guys want to come down and check that out and meet me and we'll have a good time, I'll be there for a few hours from 8 PM. There are details in the video description. There will also be prizes as well. So, you can see something very interesting happening here. Now, if you're an Ana player, you're probably thinking to yourself, why when Sty is firing at his team are his shots not hitting them? They're just sort of going through and bouncing off the floor. That is because what they have done is made Ana's shots not hit full HP targets. Now this makes, in fact, I think this is actually a really, really beautiful change. It's a very elegant solution to one of Ana's major problems. That is, you fire at the wrong target. We've all been there when we played Ana. Like, you've got a big fat Roadhog and you're trying to heal, like, I don't know, a Hanzo or a Tracer or something, but big fat Roadhog is in the way and he's taking all the shots, or big fat Diva or big fat Reinhardt or any other big fat massive hero, Orisa, whatever. They're in the way and they absorb all of your shots, so you don't actually heal. That is massively frustrating. So this change, albeit minor on the face of it, is really goddamn huge. Now, I'm playing on the PTR here. It took me 38 minutes to find a game. This is an extremely long time. PTR is like, there is no population on PTR. So this is one of the reasons why when we see changes on PTR to heroes, we very rarely see any kind of fix to them before they go live, because the devs just don't have any kind of information available. Because, I mean, you guys watch this game as it plays out, it's pretty bad. Like, it's just the terrible team comps, more of a troll game, but at least, I mean, it's a 5v5 as well. So it's like, what's going on? It's pretty dodgy. Anyway, that's besides the point. So, Ana, this is what they've officially done to her. Obviously, I've just explained what's happening, but there's also some other changes coming. So, Biotic Rifle no longer impacts allies with full health. This is great. The other change they've got coming to Ana is they're going to increase the size of a magazine from 10 to 14. Now, if you remember, when Ana first came out, I think she had a magazine size of 6, and then I think they changed it to 8, or it might have started off at 8, and then it did get increased to 10. So it's always been a bit of a problem with Ana, like how many shots should she have before she has to reload. It looks like what they're going to do is increase that. Jeff Goodman says this is not actually on the PTR right now, and you guys can see this because, well, I've only got 10 bullets if you look down the right hand corner, or darts, not really bullets, are they? But this will be increased to 14, and this should help her maintain healing uptime and allows her to more carefully choose when to reload, as opposed to just healing until the reload is forced upon you, which I guess is generally what you do with Ana. So let's just jump on to the Brigitte changes before we go into a bit more detail on Ana, because this Ana stuff is ridiculous, honestly, and I'll explain why this is totally ridiculous. So what they've done to Brigitte is nerfed her again. This time, they have nerfed Rally. So Rally, which is the ultimate, the maximum armor per player has been reduced from 150 armor to 100. That's 50 less armor the ultimate now gives people. That's actually pretty heavy, but there's also another change coming in, which I don't think is live just yet. Yeah, it's not live just yet. Jeff Goodman says there is another change coming to PTR that didn't make it to the first build up there. We're raising the cooldown on her bash by 20%. This now means it's 6 seconds instead of 5. So it's going to take her longer to shield bash, and we'll keep an eye on this. Now, the big thing with Brigitte is, I think it's been over 2 months now since we first got the Brigitte sort of launch, right? Since she first went onto PTR, then she went into quick play, and now she's just gone live into Season 10 competitive. And all you guys have seen loads of complaints. I've been complaining about it. Everybody's been complaining about it. Brigitte is a fun hero to play, but she's very, very not fun to play against, right? And she just shuts down a number of heroes completely. And that is like, I don't know whether that's the best design, especially when these heroes have been in the game forever, like your Winstons, your Reinhardts, and then suddenly you just put a hero in the game which deletes these heroes, or like a Tracer or like a Genji. But, you know, balance is a major argument, and it's something you could talk about for ages. Anyway, Brigitte, needed to be nerfed. So they have nerfed her actually pretty quick. Now, the only other hero they've nerfed with this kind of speed was Bastion. Bastion used to have a 35% ironclad, which meant when he went into sentry mode, so when he turned into the turret, he took 35% reduced damage. This was insane. In fact, I remember during, I think it was Season 4 this happened, I think. It might be Season 5, I'm not sure. But I remember playing on Lijiang Tower and having a Pharah barrage me, and I lived through the barrage. How is that even, like, how would that even be acceptable? But Bastion was just totally OP. Anyway, they did fix that fairly quick. Now, what's interesting with Brigitte is they seem to be reacting pretty quick to what's going on. They seem to agree that she can stun too often. They just nerfed on live the range of the stun, so the cone, the area effects in front of her is smaller. It used to be 90, now it's 60. Now they're going to nerf the cooldown of the ability, so make it longer to, so you can't use it as often. And they're also nerfing her ultimate. So you can see they're already trying to tone this hero down because it is a bit strong. Okay, let's talk about Ana then, because she's the main one. The footage you're seeing in the background here, it's pretty difficult for me to show you some things in this, because if this was playing out like a typical game, it wouldn't be as messy as it is right now. This feels like an arcade game or something, like everyone's just doing their own thing. But imagine if you had tanks and all your team, in a normal sort of composition. So Ana's waiting at the back, you've got your Reinhardt, your Orisa on the payload or something. Maybe you've got your flex tank, your Zarya's near, you might have a Roadhog, I don't know. You've got a lot of bodies around, right? And you're trying to heal through to a low health target. Typically in the past, you would hit the targets that were just bigger, like almost all of the time. Now, one thing with this, which interests me, is when you're firing into a group of people, it's still going to be difficult to see who is actually there, right? You will kind of know in a roundabout way, and Ana's healing shots do have like a large sort of margin of error. Like when I bring up the crosshair or the scope, it's anywhere inside the triangle in the middle. If you're firing, it will connect to your ally and heal them. So there is a bit of aim assist going on. Now, if a massive fight's breaking out and you're pumping shots into the fight, in the past, they would just hit whoever is the closest target. Whoever's the biggest target, whoever's the first target in the way. Now they won't. They'll just fly through. But this actually poses some interesting stuff for Ana. This means you can spam. Now, before, Ana is never really about spam. It was about precision. It was about trying to hit targets that you need to hit to heal. Now, there were times, because of the large sort of aim assist you get with the scope, where even when you're trying to heal targets that are beyond other targets that need healing, you would still hit the target closer just because it locks onto the nearest target, which is pretty frustrating. So what will happen now is, if you take, like, I don't know, if you look at this point here, like imagine if my team's in front of me now and they're trying to push back the payload. I could be firing shots through them and it's only ever going to hit the people that need healing. That is a major, major buff. This means Ana should effectively be able to put out loads more healing than she can now. This might make Ana the best single target healer in the game, better than Mercy. Now, you could argue that Ana already is the best single target healer, and she kind of probably is on paper, especially if she bio-nades and then she starts pumping heals into that target. The problem is, she doesn't hit with every shot. A Mercy always heals when the beam is connected. There is no way to stop the beam unless you kill the Mercy or stun the Mercy or something. Whereas Ana, it was dependent on aim, but it was also dependent on where your teammates are, and it would really screw you over. Like I said at the top of this video, it was very frustrating playing as Ana when you would try to, like, throw a... I mean, bio-nade, it happens with bio-nade still, but that's just going to detonate on whoever the hell it hits, right? That detonates on surfaces. Maybe the bio-nade shouldn't detonate unless it's a target which isn't at full health, for example. But then again, sometimes you want to preload people with the bio-nade, so that's a bit of a stupid idea. Ignore I said that, ladies and gentlemen, because it makes sense to bio-nade people and then get the heal buff, right? Silly idea of me. Anyway, going back to the idea of just Ana's like heal throughput being increased. You should heal more targets now when firing into a group fight, because you're not going to lose the shots you would lose in the past. And to me, that's a massive change. And why I think this is quite an elegant change is because this increases Ana's healing without doing the kind of thing I've always wanted, and that's being able to fire through barriers with Ana. But I think that might be a little bit too powerful. One thing that screws you over would be an enemy barrier placed on top of you and you're dead. Now, Jeff Goodman did sort of touch on topics around that on the forums last night, where he was saying, like, look, we have to balance heroes with weaknesses and strengths. We can't just, like, buff their weaknesses out of the game so they're, stronger. That's just not going to work. And it's always going to be a weakness of Ana, that she's not that mobile, that she's easy to get sort of... you can shut her down if you get into a face, and that's, I think, probably always going to be the way. Now, at the top of the video, I showed the nano boost of myself. Now, just to clarify that before we end this video, that only happens in free-for-all. You cannot nano boost yourself in a game. It's not like you can just press Q when you're not aiming at anyone and you'll be nano boosted. No, you still have to nano boost other people in actual games. But if it's free-for-all, you can now use your ultimate. Whereas before, Anna couldn't use her ultimate, could she, in free-for-all? Because, well, you couldn't fire it at anyone. But now it will hit you. At least I believe that's where they're going with it. It would be a bit strange if you could just nano yourself. I don't think there is ever a situation in the game where Anna nanoing herself is going to be better than nanoing literally anybody else on the team, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. Anna has been changed. A bit of a surprise. It's good that they're looking at Anna because she does need something doing to her, because she is the least played support. She's the highest skill cap support, and it's very difficult to be effective with her because you can just play the other healers. And is that a problem? I don't know. Like, I enjoy Anna. I've always enjoyed playing Anna. I'm not saying it's because, like, oh yeah, she's high skill and I want to play a high skill hero, yada yada yada. Because I enjoy playing Moira, I enjoy playing Brigitte. But sometimes you have to step back and think, what's going on with these heroes, and do they need looking at? And it's great that Blizzard are finally doing this to Anna. I think it's a bit long coming, really, to be honest, but it's good to see that they are starting to look at the different heroes in the game that for a very long time have been, well, pretty much neglected. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa and this is Unit Lost. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below, especially if you're an Anna player. I would love to hear what you think about these changes. Do you think they're going to make any difference? Do you like them? Do you hate them? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. And do play on the PTR as well, ladies and gentlemen, because then you can check out the changes. But unfortunately, it's only available on PC. All right, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.